there, thanks for joining me today. This is Laura Lynn with Keep Inking Up. I'm an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up! In San Antonio, Texas. And today is another 3-card video. This time we'll be using the Forever Fern bundle. It has these beautiful distinctive images, stamp images, and then it also has a coordinating set of dies. There's a lot of dies in this particular set. And as always, when you purchase the bundle, you do save 10% versus buying the pieces individually. So anyway, if you would like to get this bundle, it is available in my online store. I'm going to go ahead and put that aside. We're going to begin with the first card, which is going to be a 1-layer card. Y'all know how much I love making 1-layer cards. So I have a piece of our Thick Whisper White that is 4 1/4 by 11 and folded in half at 5 1/2 to create a standard A2 size card that'll fit in our medium size envelopes. Our color combination today is Garden Green, Pear Pizzazz, and Pretty Peacock. I'm going to begin with Pretty Peacock. For my sentiment, there are several sentiments in this stamp set, and we're going to be using the Love and Laughter Forever After, and I'll be using 2 of the others. I will have used 2 of the other sentiments on the other 2 cards. So I have my sentiment here mounted on a block. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this up in the Pretty Peacock and try to get this somewhat centered side to side, but toward the top of the card. Hopefully I got it somewhat straight. So it looks pretty good. And I'm going to go ahead and close up my Pretty Peacock. We're going to use it again, but I don't want to get my fingers in that. Actually, no, I take that back. We're going to use it right away. Oh yeah, sometimes I wonder about myself. Okay, so we're going to start with this long leafy branch from the stamp set in the Pretty Peacock, and I'm going to, oh, I got a smudge. That's okay. We will cover that up with our stamping. I'm going to ink this up, and I'm going to stamp it 1, 2, 3. See, you can't even see the smudge that I had. I just hope that I don't get anywhere else. Ink it again and stamp it 3 times, and then again at the top. And I'm doing some generational stamping to get some nice depth in there. Now I'm going to close up the Pretty Peacock until a little bit later. Next, I'm going to bring in Garden Green, and I'm going to stamp using this image. I think this is eucalyptus. I'm not sure, but it reminds me of eucalyptus branches. So I'm going to ink that up in the Garden Green and stamp it down twice. I'm going to switch my paper around and stamp this again in a triangular layout. I'll close up the Garden Green. And next I'm going to bring in Pear Pizzazz. And then we're going to stamp with my favorite image of the stamp set. I have no idea what these leaves are, but I like it because it's nice and big. And once you see it stamped, I just love these particular leaves. So I'm going to ink up in the Pear Pizzazz, and I will stamp in the openings that are left. Just in full strength all the way around wherever I see an opening. Just kind of fill in the edges. That looks nice. It's different every single time I do this. So I'm going to close this up, and I'll bring back my Pretty Peacock for my little dotty image. This image I can use with a wide variety of stamp sets that I have in my collection. It's a wonderful little splatter image, but I did want to share a tip that I've learned while playing with it. If you ink it up and you stamp hard with it, you'll get these kind of large blobby dots. And to me, that's not quite as nice as if you use a light touch. If you ink it up and use a light touch, I just much prefer those light dots versus those heavy dots, especially when you're adding it to a project. I think that the light touch just really adds a nice little touch rather than a heavy, bold dots. So I'm just adding them all around. I think that looks pretty good. Maybe I'll add one more down here. But again, I don't want these blobby dots. I'd like some light dots. So that's just a little tip that I learned while using it. So that finishes the card, the 1-layer card. Isn't that pretty? I just love this particular stamp set. The depth that you see in each of the stamped images, it just makes it so easy to put together a card. I had so much fun with this particular layout that I went ahead and made more in different colors. So I wanted to share those with you before we get to the other two cards. This one is a kind of a yellow-orangey card. I used pumpkin pie, crushed curry, and mango melody on that one. I think that's just so pretty. Then, of course, you know me, I had to use purples. I love my purples. I've got Blackberry Bliss, Gorgeous Grape, Highland Heather, and then I added in some crumb cake to kind of spruce up that little card colors. And then this one has Pool Party, Coastal Cabana, and Bermuda Bay. So that's kind of a bluish version. So next I'm going to share with you my other two cards. My second card, if you have a few more supplies than just white paper and some inks, if you have some colored cardstock, this is soft sea foam cardstock with a soft sea foam ink on the background, and then I've got a layer of Pretty Peacock, and then I stamped some images in the colors again, and then I used a different sentiment. You can do this in the Pretty Peacock, and then I added a linen thread bow on there. And this is a fun fold card. Isn't that cute? Just open it up, and then I put a white piece in there so you can write your message on there. And then the third card, if you have a bit more supplies, if you have a die cutting machine, this uses a bit more. I cut a piece of vellum using one of the dies from the bundle, and then I also have a layer here that is cut using the stitched rectangle dies, and on that layer I have stamped that large leafy image, and then I also embossed that layer with the new Old World Paper 3D embossing folder. I love that crinkly paper look. And then I used another sentiment from the stamp set, To a Friend That Makes Me Smile, in the Pretty Peacock. And then I used the Stitch So Sweetly dies for the layering of the sentiment. And then I added a couple little basic rhinestones to add a little bit of a bling. So this card is definitely for a more avid crafter who has a bit more supplies. But so here are my three cards for the avid crafter, an experienced crafter, and then what happened to my card here? The simple one layer card. So there are the three cards for the Forever Fern bundle. So I hope you found this video inspirational and will want to get the Forever Fern bundle for yourself. And like I said, it's not limited to just using greens. You can use this stamp set with any color. As you saw in my samples, they still come out really, really, really pretty. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.